Hello and welcome to all beautiful souls out there. You're listening to the Restore My Soul podcast with Princess Millens, your favorite grief coach and emotional wellness specialist. In this space, we will help those who struggle with grief and loss and have real conversations about how to overcome it in every area of life. Through our personal stories, practical information, and wisdom from Princess and her special guests. We are here to educate, inspire, and empower you with the strategies you need in your emotional healing journey. We do not offer medical advice, but we believe that we can all learn to heal by creating a mindset to grow past our pain and push toward our purpose. Our goal is to remind you that grief is a journey and you do not have to walk it alone. No matter what the pain or loss is, you can be restored and live fully in your purpose. So let's push through the pain together as we share our stories of resilience, one episode at a time.
Well, hello, everybody, again. Welcome to another episode of the Restore My Soul podcast. I am so honored that you are here joining and listening and watching from wherever you are. We are here to inspire and teach and empower you in your emotional wellness journey. And so we are going to do just that today. I just believe that we are all different in what we've been through, and grief is grief, loss is loss. Those things that we have to push past and push through to be all that God has called us to do. So I want to introduce our special guest today. I've had the pleasure of meeting her in person recently. And our guest today is Dionna Anderson. And she is an upcoming author who helps encourage and empower Black women to love their natural selves and believe in their potential. So I want to welcome Dionna to the podcast today. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. I know that we have a lot to talk about. This is going to be such a great topic for everybody who is listening, the ones of us who are have embraced or maybe not embraced the journey of our natural hair, right? And
Right.
so what I always teach is grief, right? Loss is loss and pain is pain. And sometimes we see that pain sitting around our hair and what it will do, what it won't do, the things that brings us grief in that area. So I'm so glad that you're here to have a candid and a real conversation today to empower us and let us know what you've been through and kind of teach us something today. How about that?
Yes.
Okay, so I know that you are an upcoming author, and in your upcoming book is talking about the insecurities that people have in certain areas of their life, right?
Yes.
Especially with their natural hair. And so I know that when we're growing up, sometimes our insecurity about surrounding our natural selves, it begins somewhere, right? So kind of tell us how you got to be this on this natural hair journey that you're on now. Maybe some things that's happened to make you take a look and take a path to help others to be able to embrace their natural selves.
Yeah. So when I was young, I used to always see, the black girls on TV, but not like it wasn't a lot of black women or black people in general on the TV channels that I would watch. And I used to admire this one girl named Raven. I know everyone knows, like, that's so Raven.
Yeah.
And her hair wasn't natural, it was always straight. So I would also look at the Bratz doll, Sasha, but her hair was straight. And I always thought that my hair, in order for me to be pretty like them, I had to have looser hair, straighter hair. And I didn't really want to go through the pain of that until my mom started perming my hair after my grandma passed away. So a lot of things hindered her, like through stress, and she lost her hair as well. And she formed alopecia I believe through grief and her being sick after my grandma passed away. So, in order for her
Wow.
to stop spending so much time on my hair, she resorted to perming my hair. And I always used to fuss, everything like that. And then she didn't want nothing to do with my hair anymore. She said, I'm just going to give you to someone else to relieve my stress and to have more time to myself. I'll just give you to someone else to do your hair. And
Yeah.
as a child, I didn't really think much of it then, but as I got older, didn't like the pain of having a perm. I didn't like the pain of getting braids in my hair because I was so tender-headed because of the perm. So as time went on, um, around seventh grade, I started seeing this one girl become natural, and I said, I want that. I never see girls in my grade have beautiful froze. So it was inspiring to me. So I became natural. I transitioned and I had to cut my hair off. So I was grieving the loss of my
Yeah.
hair before I even cut the hair off. So
Wow.
I was so scared because I was afraid of other people's opinions, but I cut it off anyway. And I went through, I feel like I went through a lot of trauma as a child. I feel like throughout high school, I was wanting validation from people, especially um, from men as well. Back then, I always wanted validation from them. And when I went to college, my hair stunted its growth because I was working, I went to school, and I was being harassed. And I had a lot of trauma, and it kind of built into my hair for some odd reason. And it just stunted the growth. It got dull, and I had to cut it off again. And so ever
Wow.
since I was like 19 years old, and ever since I cut off my hair at 19 years old, I started realizing like there are some things that I'm still overcoming, but there were some things in the beginning that I had to overcome in regards to how I felt towards my curls. Because I felt like because I was abusing myself physically, um, it kind of made me like forget that I had to take care of my hair because I was trying to
Mm.
take care of everything else outwardly instead of inwardly. So I stopped taking care of my hair. I stopped taking care of my health, and I put that in the book. Like I wrote a letter to my hair to make me embrace my hair more instead of being ungrateful towards it. Like, yes, I have thick 4C hair, but it was not giving at all. So my
Yeah.
past 4 years of my natural hair journey has really been dedicated to um, making my hair just beautiful again.
Yeah, that is so good. And it reminds me that sometimes our journey, it comes from the loss and the grief of someone else.
Yeah.
And I heard you say that when your grandmother died, and I can attest to this, when my mom died as well, you kind of want to stop doing everything.
Right.
And for you, that translated into the doing of your hair, right? And so I believe that we often look at our hair as a sense of identity, right?
Yes.
And so when we look at our hair as who we are our hair, and it's
Yes,
not
I agree.
doing like we want it to do, or we feel like we have to do it the way that society wants us to
Yes.
do. That brings a whole nother level of grief. And I know a lot of us that are listening right now, that are watching this episode, they may have some stories of back when they were little girls, when we had the hot combs.
Oh
Okay,
my
we had
gosh.
the on the stove hot combs and having to go through that pain of not being able to burn my ear and things like that. And we laugh at it now, but it really did set the stage for the journey that we see, that we personally uh have with our hair right now, right? And it was such a beautiful thing that you were able to see somebody your age and do it. And so that kind of gave you the strength to do it as well.
Yes.
So kind of talk about what kind of things, when you say that you went through a struggle there. You went through a hardship, and a part of you was grieving having to cut your hair again, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so talk about what did that look like for you? So I know kind of what we think is kind of internal, but what did that look like to other people that saw you go through that journey?
You mean when I cut my hair off the first time or the second time?
Either one.
Let's talk about the first time.
Okay.
The first
Wow.
time, I when I cut it off, the only one who really supported me cutting off my hair was my mom. Uh,
Okay.
I would say when I was sitting in the chair, I was like, I want to cut my hair off. I don't want the perm ends anymore. So I still had my roots, but I didn't want the perm ends. And she was just looking at me like, "Are you sure? Like you want to cut off all this hair?" I'm like, "Yes, my hair is damaged. I want to cut it all off." And immediately, like a week later, I said, "Can you schedule an appointment with her? Because I want my braids in my hair." So about 2 months after I took it out, I was like, okay, it's time to face the world with my teeny weeny afro, the term TWA. And everyone in school was just loving it. They were like, oh my God, I can't believe you cut your hair. But
Yeah.
some people in my family, like people thought I was doing good in school because it's like, oh, she cut her hair, she's changing. It's like she's a trendsetter. So people thought I was fine. Really, I was
Oh wow.
struggling inside. But
Wow.
in my family, there were some people who thought I was depressed. So it was weird because I feel like it's such a young age, like eighth grade. Um, I always say to my youth, like, your feelings are valid. And if you are feeling a certain way, please come to me or please go to your parents, because I feel like with youth, their feelings are neglected a lot because they're not old enough to quote unquote understand what it's like to feel a certain way. So when someone in my family said, "You cut off all your hair," and I was like, "Yeah, I did. Like, don't you like it?" Because I thought that they would like it like the kids in my school did.
Mm.
They didn't like it at all. They One person called me nappy headed. One said, "You must be suicidal. You must be depressed." And I was like, and at that point, I felt very embarrassed,
Yeah.
but I kind of felt that she was right because I knew how I felt in that age, but I didn't really know what it was until she said it. But I wasn't suicidal. I wasn't depressed. I was just trying to find my happiness with my appearance as a
Mm.
Black girl with 4C hair, with a thicker texture of hair that society deems as not, good hair, or, you have to have looser texture to be beautiful. You have to be, just someone on a TV screen with relaxed straight hair. And when that's not what it was in that eighth grade, I just didn't want to be under that, stigma.
Yeah, and that is so real because a lot of times we look to society, we look to TV, movies, entertainment to try to mimic and to do what they're doing or what they classify as being beautiful. And again, I think it goes back to who we think we are. Who
Right.
do we know that we are, and do we really know our own identity? Because I believe when you're strong in your own identity, then you don't have to look outside, right? You don't have to look outside, look to society, look to anybody else to tell you what to do. And but it's a lot of times us, especially women, we struggle with the fact of we want everybody to co-sign onto what we're doing.
Right.
And when they don't, just like you say, we feel some type of grief on that. We feel some type of rejection on that because we think that I'm doing what's best for me. And why aren't you happy about that, right? But what I also heard you say, those differences in perspectives of why you cut your hair off. Now
Yeah.
that's crazy because you had like two sides of the spectrum. You had the ones that thought that you were suicidal, that you lost your mind and all that, and then you have the people like, yeah, I like it. And so it is amazing sometimes the extents that we go to save what we know that we need to let go of.
Right.
So what was the final decision that kind of prompted you to go ahead and let this hair go? You know, was it a firm decision? Did you have to think about it, lament on it? What happened during that time?
I always tell myself that when it comes to taking a risk, uh, think about it, but don't dwell on it to the point where you're going to change your mind.
Oh, that's
Um,
good.
I feel like what prompted me to, like, my final decision was in college, freshman year. I was going through it with this guy who was harassing me. I had so much trauma with that, but that
Mhm.
was my decision to finally take a break from things that were stressing me out negatively, that was impacting my grades. And I feel like that was one, but my hair was also another. I always had to find a way to do my hair and to basically hide my hair. I was going through a season of hiding my hair so much to the point where I started to hate my natural hair again. So
Wow.
I had a talk with my roommate. We were just talking about our natural hair, and she was like, I only put protective styles in my hair when I know my hair doesn't cooperate with the weather. And that's
Mhm.
what I thought, that's what I do now. But then I didn't understand that because I realized I didn't understand my hair because I wasn't focused on understanding my hair. So I was looking at my hair as, you need to do this, you need to do this. But really, it was me not understanding my hair or learning enough about my hair to know what it does through different seasons of the year, or what I would like to do for my hair. So it was more of me putting this stigma on my hair where my hair hasn't done nothing to me at all. I'm the one doing all these things to impact it. So my final decision was just scrolling through Google Images to find just low cut styles. I was just looking at images and I was like, you know what? I think it's time for me to cut my hair off. And I wasn't scared to do so. And um, after writing that letter to my hair, I
Yeah.
apologized to it. And
Oh,
so
wow.
after apologizing to my hair, I went home. I didn't go back to school. I was too scared to go back to campus. But after apologizing to my hair, I went back home in the summer and I said, I want to cut it off again, but I want it lower. Like, I wanted to start near my roots again so that I can understand it. And from then on, I've just been loving it ever since.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That is powerful. And I know that a lot of us, now that you prick my heart on that, because I know a lot of us who are listening and watching, we probably need to write a letter to our hair, right?
Yeah.
We probably need to write. And I know it's such a good exercise. I know that had to be a great exercise to do, because a lot of times we do it to people. We write letters that to people that we never give them, right?
Right.
Forgiveness letters and all of that kind of stuff. But to your hair, that was a unique perspective to do that. And
Yes.
I learned something on that. I might That's something that hopefully our listeners will be able to do as well if they feel like they need to do it.
I feel
And
very I'm sorry for this harsh light. I'm in my living room, so if you see a lot of light coming towards you, I'm very sorry.
don't worry about that, because we are audible and video, okay?
Oh, okay.
So now I know that in the writing of your upcoming book,
Mhm.
um, you talk about how to become self confident and be empowered by your natural beauty, not only your hair, but your just natural beauty as a whole, right? Um, can you tell us what kind of things that you have learned to put you in that place of self-confidence, no matter what, you've been through the ridicule, you've been through the doubts, the frustrations, the difficulties, all of that. What is the thing that really puts you in that place of being self-confident and being able to even help other people to do that as well?
I would say, like I said before, when it comes to taking a chance or taking a risk, don't dwell on it too hard to where it to where it like makes you change your mind. So when it comes to me being self-confident, and it can be in any area of my life, like there are some places in my life that I'm not really that confident on, but when it comes to those areas of my life where I am confident, I always tell myself if I doubt it, then I need to find something that makes me have a thrill so that I can keep going forward and just having that excitement with it. Like public speaking, like right
Yeah.
here, right now, I was like, if I continue to reschedule, like for one, like for an example, we rescheduled a lot. If I know that if I'm gonna keep rescheduling a lot, then I'm feeling some type of doubt. I'm feeling some type of insecurity.
Mhm. That's good.
So stop rescheduling and just go forward with it, because once you're done with it, you're gonna feel this thrill. Like, oh, I can do that again. I can do that again. Like, oh, and one way is like I was very insecure about traveling. I was very insecure about all these little things, and they came from childhood. So when I tie that into natural beauty, it's like, why are you self doubting all these little things? It's not you making you self doubt, it's society. And society is, and to me, it's just one big, um, like there's one big mirror of a wall. You can easily break it down by just telling yourself, you know what? I'm always seeing this on TV. Let me turn the TV off and really look at myself in the mirror. Let me look at myself, or write a letter to myself and just say that you are beautiful because God made you this way. God made you this way in your mother's womb so that you could be this beautiful, powerful person. Like, I feel like it's just this persona that society has built up, and it changes all the time. So if it
Yeah.
changes all the time, why do you have to change all the time? You are yourself. Yes, you change, you progress, but don't progress along with society. Yes, adapt, but don't change yourself or mold yourself to be this person, knowing deep down that you're not that way. So that's how I started to find confidence, not
Yeah.
just in my natural beauty, but with everything of my life. That's why I also talk about conquering limiting beliefs as well.
Yeah. Well, that's so good. And I know that the level of society can only penetrate us in our thinking, in our minds, as far as what we believe. And
Right,
it starts with us first. Whatever we believe, society, people, whoever can come in and dictate to us, certain truths, or certain supposed truths. And it only goes as far as what we believe. And I think that a lot of times that when we struggle with our own insecurities, when we struggle with going back to that identity of who we are, we're going to struggle. And when we look at what other people say is beautiful, when we look at what other people say is okay, then we begin to believe it too.
right.
But that only means that we didn't have firm beliefs to begin with. And this is such a powerful conversation because, I some people, I don't really believe that they really understand the struggle behind just natural hair or just doing things naturally. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, even the Bible says that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And that's all that we really need right now, is that we know that we
Exactly.
are fearfully and wonderfully made, that God did not make a mistake when he made our 4C hair, because I have 4C hair as well. He did not make a mistake. And so we embrace who he has created us to be. And I just I'm so happy that you were here to bring a lot of this to light into this space of even dealing with or being resilient in a lot of areas in your life. So before we leave, I want you to give the audience some words of encouragement. What can you speak to? It might be some young people that are watching. It might be some older people that are still struggling, like myself, because I'll get into the protective styles and all of that, not knowing it's subconsciously something else, right? That
Right.
I'm really not sharing. But what encouragement can you give to us about our natural hair journey, and not to be able to fall into that pit of grief of even losing our hair, even the battle of or struggle with our hair, or the struggle of what even people are saying about us and how we look when we have our natural hair? What encouragement can you give us?
I would say that it's never too early and it's never too late to start learning to love your natural hair or your natural curls. It's like there's a whole movement dedicated towards natural hair, towards type 4 hair specifically, because that's the one I resonate with the most. So it's never too early and it's never too late to learn your hair, learn the laws that are centered around your hair. It's never to anything,
Yeah,
because you have time to learn the beauty that literally resides in yourself and on your scalp. Like it grows from the knowledge from your hair. I'm sorry, from your scalp into literally your curls. It grows out of your scalp. It grows into something so powerful and beautiful that for years it's been trying to be stripped away from us. So it's never too early and it's never too late.
that is so good. Never too early, never too late. Y'all hear it from Dionna herself, the founder and CEO of Securely Me LLC. Thank you so much for joining today on this episode of Restore My Soul. I want you to leave everybody of how they can connect with you and how they can find you on social media and all of that.
Yes. So you can follow me or add me as a friend on Facebook, Dionna Anderson. Instagram is Dionna Anderson Writes, WRITES. And you can also follow me on TikTok, and I changed that to Securely Me on TikTok.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dionna, again for being here. Such a powerful testimony that I know it will bless so many people that are watching and that are will listen even on the replay. And I will hopefully see you again soon. It was such a pleasure to meet you in person recently, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you so much, Princess. This was an honor.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining in this episode of Restore My Soul podcast. You all make sure that you continue to follow me on all social media at Princess Millens and my website at princessmillens.com. You all remember that grief is a journey. You don't have to walk it alone. And we will see you in the next episode of the Restore My Soul podcast.
Thank you for joining another episode of Restore My Soul podcast. Be sure to listen and watch each week as we continue the conversation on how to bounce back from the setback of grief and loss, and to become resilient so that you too can thrive in life. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any new episodes. And share this with as many people as possible so they can be encouraged in their emotional wellness journey. We invite you to follow Princess Millens on all social media platforms and on the website at princessmillens.com. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Restore My Soul podcast.